So I think Jundo is saying, hello everybody, welcome. If you've been here before, you know what to do, and if it's your first time, just follow along.
The heart of the perfection of great wisdom, Sutra. Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva, awakened one of compassion in Prajna Paramita, the deep practice of perfect wisdom, perceived the emptiness of all five conditions and was free of suffering. O Shariputra, form is no other than emptiness, emptiness, no other than form. Form is precisely emptiness, emptiness, precisely form. Sensations, perceptions, formations, and consciousness are also like this. O Shariputra, all things are expressions of emptiness, not born, not destroyed, not staying, not pure, neither waxing nor waning. Thus emptiness is not form, not sensation, nor perception, not formation, nor consciousness, no eye, ear, no tongue, body, mind, no sight, sound, smell, taste, touch, nor object of mind, no realm of sight, no realm of consciousness, no ignorance, no end to ignorance, no old age and death, no cessation of old age and death, no suffering, nor cause or end to suffering, no path, no wisdom, and no gain thus bodhisattvas live this prajna paramita with no hindrance of mind, no hindrance, therefore no fear, far beyond all delusion. Nirvana is already here, all past, present, and future Buddhas live this prajna paramita and realize supreme and complete enlightenment. Therefore know that prajna paramita is the sacred mantra, the luminous mantra, the supreme mantra, the incomparable mantra by which all suffering is clear. This is no other than truth. Therefore set for the prajna paramita mantra, set for this mantra and proclaim Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgati Bodhisvaham Anya Shinyo. Buddha nature pervades the whole universe. Reality exists in right here now. In reciting the heart of the perfection of Great Wisdom Sutra, we dedicate our sincere efforts to Shakyamuni Buddha, honored one, the historical Buddha and teacher, and to those ancestral teachers, Eihei Dogen, honored one, Soji Keizan, honored one, all successive honored ones up until Zuigaku Rempo, honored one, and Gudo Wafu, honored one, and to all other honored ones throughout history, male and female honored ones, whose names have been forgotten or left unsaid. We also dedicate this effort to the three treasures, Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, to all awakened ones and teachers in all places and times. We especially seek tranquility and well-being to all creatures now suffering or ill in health. May they be serene through all the ills. May their lives be at peace and wisdom pervade the darkness of ignorance. We dedicate our hopes and aspirations to all victims of war and violence and natural events, to the injured and to all families touched by these tragedies, to the healing of hatred in all countries and among all peoples, to the wisdom and compassion of our world leaders, to the peace of the world and harmony of all beings. Thus let the harmful effects of wars, thoughts, and actions be dispelled, and compassion bloom in perpetual spring. May we all realize and live the lighted way together. All Buddhas throughout space and time. All Bodhisattvas, Mahasattvas, Maha Prajna Paramita.
Zazen?
Someone is moving. Stop moving. Sit. have Zazen and the little talk? Can everyone hear all right? Give me a little wave. Okay. Today we had what I call a little technical non-problem. I think you could see me, but I don't think you could hear me, and I could not hear Washin with his beautiful Heart Sutra today. But this is a teaching for us. Around our Sangha, we call it technical non-problem. But really, all of life has non-problems. What does that mean? Non-problem means that a situation is just a situation. But the part that resists and judges and said, oh, I don't like this. This is a problem. This is inside you, you see. Situation is just situation. Your judgment about whether you like it or not, that's you. Now, we don't call it not a problem. Notice we call it a non-problem. What's the difference? It's just like Master Dogen says, you know, we do thinking, not thinking. What is thinking, not thinking? Non-thinking. The thoughts are still there, but we don't become entangled in them. Well, the situation is still there, but we don't become entangled in it. That doesn't mean we don't try to fix it, because it's still the situation. So it's not a problem. It's a non-problem. It means I try to fix it and I'm not entangled in it. It's a problem, so I try to fix it, but part of me does not judge. So for part, no problem. It's a problem, no problem. No problem, it's a problem. So I fixed it, like I do for many problems in life, whether when I'm sick, I take medicine, or whether when I have weeds in the garden, I pull them. But the weeds are just the weeds, and the sickness is just the sickness. And the sound problem today was a sound non-problem. So I did what you do. Very technical. I rebooted. It fixed the situation. Can you hear me now? Give me a wave. Yeah, see, I fixed it. In the old days, you youngsters would not recognize this. In the old days, all you had to do was bang on the thing twice. The old TVs. Some of us remember black and white TV. Anyway, I'm just making myself sound old, but now you don't bang on the thing, you just reboot. Works about the same way. Now, this was karma today because we had an honored guest. I think she's gone. Maybe, oh no, she's back. Daine Applebaum is a priest in the Katagiri Roshi lineage who is sitting with us today. Hello, Daine. And I had just been bragging to her about how wonderful is online sitting, you see,
Yes.
and how well it works. And then I come here, and for the first time in a long, long time, we have a technical non-problem. This is karma. This is when, Daine, I can hear you. You're laughing.
Yeah.
This is a technical karma because it's when you get to too much pride, the internet and the universe comes and teaches you to be humble. So this showed me not to brag too much, but it's really much better than it used to be. I have to tell you guys, I was telling Daine that this is our 13th Jukai we've done online, and it's gotten much better. The first one, 13 years ago, my joke is that we had a system where only a few people, it was the grandfather of the grandfather of the grandfather of Zoom. And the thing was, the people kept popping in and out during the Jukai. So my joke is that all of them only got to 3 precepts each. Some people could drink, but they can't. Daine, I hear you laughing. Turn your microphone off. So one guy could, he could kill, but he couldn't lie. Like the other guy could drink, but sex was okay. Like that, something like that. But we fixed it later, just to put a footnote. I went back on Skype, which was just starting then too, and I met with each person one by one, and I made sure they got all the precepts. So our Jukai was completely kosher. It's okay. Today you could not hear the Heart Sutra, but the best Heart Sutra has no words. It's true. Sometimes it's good to hear the silent Heart Sutra, you see, because all the point of the words of the Heart Sutra is that you do not need words. Now, actually, I kept looking over and trying to follow Washin by his movements. And I think I was pretty close. I have to check later because I know the ceremony for all these years we've been doing it in my heart. But if he was a little slower, a little faster than me, then maybe I was a little off. But I think I knew when to bow. But it does not matter because the bowing was right. There's never a Zen ceremony, even at the great monastery of Eiheiji, where they have done it for 750 years or so. There's never been a perfect ceremony. Every ceremony is always a little wrong. That's good. It's like we sow the raksu, and then at the end we put a little dirt on it to say that there's never perfection, because life is never supposed to be just as we want. Life is always just as it is, you see, and our ceremony is always just as it is. So I heard Washin perfectly, even though I could not hear a word. Somebody came and said this week, what if we get Zoom bombed? Some guy comes on and starts showing porno during our Zazenkai or yelling Nazi slogans. What should we do? Well, we took some steps because it's a non-problem. We put a little password. But even if somebody comes, we just sit with it. Today, when I came back after rebooting, somebody had the microphone on and I heard a lot of moving around. And I said, we just sit with it, but now let's sit still. And if someone comes and Zoom bombs us, we sit with it. There's nothing they could show us. Images of war or violence, hate, Nazi flags, people having sex. We sit, no problem. It actually happened many years ago, something like that. In the early days of Hangouts on Google, anyone could come in. So this guy came in naked. Don't know who it was. I don't know if the other people saw it because they were facing the wall, but I saw this naked guy, you know, or parts of the naked guy. You know what I mean, which parts. Didn't do a thing. He got bored, he went away. Another time, some fellow dropped in and said, hello, hello, trying to get our attention. Nobody moved. He said, hello, what are you doing? Nobody moved. Then he said, is this performance art? And then he went away too. We just sit with all of it. Finally, I want to tell you that some people say what we do is not face to face. And I've heard some talk this week that as the world is opening up, people want to get back to real sitting. That's not good teaching. Sorry, I have to say. Now, I don't say that our sitting is better or their sitting in a room is better. It's all real sitting. What do you mean? You sit together, you sit online. I had the two students, I just want to tell you, I know this talk is getting a little long, but think of all the words I didn't get to say at the start, so give me a break. One was hearing impaired and came and said to me one time, you know, your Sangha is the first Sangha I could ever participate in where I feel like an equal. This was, she said, I don't get all the talks, but now they have subtitles on the bottom, but I can communicate in writing. For the first time, nobody knows I'm hearing impaired. Another fellow who was not a member of our Sangha, but a good friend of mine, a visually impaired lawyer. And he got through law school, couldn't see anything. And I asked him for advice on our Sangha. And he said, oh, when you're visually impaired, you know, you just use the other senses and realize how rich they are. I always thought of that blind master in Kung Fu, you know, that old TV show who couldn't see, but the great sword master. So we have some senses we cannot use. We cannot taste each other. I'm not going to lick you. I'm not going to touch you from a distance. Sorry, not physically, which is good. It saves us from some scandals. Ba-dum-bum. Psh, top hat. That was a joke, by the way. But we can compensate in other ways. Through writing, we pour our hearts out. Right now, we have some members who are in hospital, serious conditions, but they're with us. I've had people come to our Zazen from hospice. They were in the hospice bed. They were dying. They sat Zazen with us in the hospice. That's real sitting. Where you are right now is real sitting. I'm going to close right now with these words. At the bottom of each of our Zazenkai posts, I write this. I think people skip over it. Nobody really looks. If you drop away, here, there, now, then, you sit. Something like that. I haven't even looked for a while. I forget exactly what's there. I have to look. But it says, drop away, here, there, now, then. This is a lesson that you can get from this kind of sitting that it's even hard to get when you sit in a room. Why? People think that what you see with your eyes and hear with your ears and taste is real, but what we're doing now is not real. They don't understand the skandhas. The skandhas are that this world that we experience is created from the data input that comes through the senses of something that's outside us, we assume. Some, like the Yogacara teachers, were not so sure, but I'm not that much of an idealist. I think something's out there. But most of what you're experiencing now, and I'm talking about the cat in your lap, the loved one you kiss, the green tree I'm looking at out our door right now, is right between my ears. Now, there's something out there, but basically what I'm experiencing is between my ears. I'm sorry to tell you, you've never hugged the dearest person in your life. You've only experienced hugging them in your mind. That I can teach you here. You think you're there, you think you're here. It's a basic premise of Buddhism that here is there and there is here because all is in the great wholeness. It's one great pearl and we are all inside. That's where we're sitting. You think time is just what's here and some people are going to join us with the recorded version later? No. Later is now, now is later. As the hands of the clock go round and round, there's a still point in the center, the face of the clock that does not move. Later is that, here is that, now is that, there is that, before is that. That's where we're sitting, right here, right now. Okay, now that I've started talking, I can't shut up. Let's sit. We will now recite the verse of atonement and the 4 vows.
All harmful acts, words, and thoughts ever committed by me since of old, on account of beginningless greed, anger, and ignorance, born of my body, mouth, and mind, now I atone for them all. To save all sentient beings, though beings numberless, to transform all delusions, though delusions inexhaustible, to perceive reality, though reality is boundless, to attain the enlightened way, way unattainable, to save all sentient beings, though beings numberless, to transform all delusions, though delusions inexhaustible, to perceive reality, though reality is boundless, to attain the enlightened way, way unattainable, to save all sentient beings, though beings numberless, transform all delusions, though delusions inexhaustible, to perceive reality, though reality is boundless, to attain the enlightened way, a way unattainable.
Okay. Now, if everybody puts their microphones on, we can have a little hello, hello, and I count to 3. 1, 2, 3. Hello.
Hello!
Hello.
Hello!
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Thanks, Jonas. Well, we're going to have a little tea time. If anyone wants to stick around, beverages are optional, non-alcoholic. And Dinah, Dinah, there you are. I found you. If you want to stick around, we're going to have tea for a few minutes, only if you don't have a place to run. No, who has a place to run these days? You know, some of us are actually working, I should say. I'm joking about the rest of us who are just have no place to run, but they're actually working people. Anyway, nice to sit with you all. And I'm going to go over here, and then it's tea time. Okay. I feel like Mr. Rogers. You remember him? Like, I should have a sweater or something I put on. That's kind of American joke if people.